Hello, friends. Sharing with you a sensitive story, pathetic, but I have no one else to talk to. I 34M have reached my breaking point and I never thought I'd be one of those guys who pours out their pain to strangers on the internet, but here I am. I need to vent before I explode. My soon-to-be ex-wife, Mona, 36F, comes from money. Old money. The kind that thinks everyone below them is lazy or stupid. She never let me forget that I come from a blue-collar background. I've worked hard all my life, 2 jobs since I was 17, construction, part-time jobs, doing whatever I could to survive. But it was never good enough for her. When we met, she acted like my struggle was charming. She said she loved how grounded I was. But once we got married, it flipped like a switch. Suddenly I was a nobody, a charity case, and worse, a man without character. She called me gutless in front of our kids once. I still remember my daughter crying and asking, "Why does mommy hate you?" Mona hasn't worked a single day since our first child was born. Not because she's some amazing homemaker, God no, but because she simply refused to do anything. Cleaning? That's maid work. Cooking? Get takeout. Parenting? That's my job apparently. We have 3 kids. I get them up, I pack their lunches, I help them with homework. I take them to doctor's appointments. I've watched them learn to walk, read, ride bikes. She barely knows their teachers' names. You'd think she'd be grateful for the support. Nope. She treats me like hired help in my own home. And then, the affairs. It started with one guy. A stripper she met at her best friend's bachelorette party. I only found out because she was drunk one night and thought it would be funny to show me a video of her grinding on him. I wish I could say I walked out then. But I stayed for the kids. Always for the kids. Fast forward a year and I find out that guy wasn't the only one. He was just the first. There were 13. 13 men. All strippers. All from the same club downtown. Apparently she became a regular and had a private arrangement with the owner. She told him she was in an open marriage. Newsflash, we were not. She had profiles made for them. A spreadsheet on her laptop with names, days of the week, and preferences. Like she was managing a team. One of them, guy named Zane, God help me, came by the house once, looking for her when she forgot her phone at home. I was literally in the backyard fixing our kids' trampoline when he knocked. He looked confused to see me there. Asked if I was the nanny. I didn't hit him. I don't know how I didn't. She laughed when I confronted her. She said I should be grateful she found excitement elsewhere because I sure as hell couldn't give her what she needed. So yeah, I'm done. I've spoken to a divorce lawyer. Papers are being drafted. She doesn't know yet. But there's more. So much more. And it only gets weirder and more infuriating from here. I'll post part 2 tomorrow if people are interested. I'm not even sure what I want from this post. Support? A place to scream into the void? Maybe both. Thanks for reading. A tired dad who deserved better. Hey again. Thanks to everyone who commented or messaged after part 1. I didn't expect so much support or so many DMs from people who've been through the same nightmare. I said I'd post part 2, so here it is. Let's rewind a little. After I confronted Mona about the strip club roster, yes, roster, like she was running a fantasy football league made of Chippendales, things got even more surreal. Instead of denying it, she laughed. Actually laughed. Said, "You finally figured it out? Took you long enough?" That's when it hit me, she didn't care that I knew. She wasn't ashamed. She wanted me to know. Because in her mind I didn't have the spine to do anything about it. She was daring me to leave. She didn't think I'd survive on my own. She kept throwing lines at me like, asterisk, "You're just a glorified babysitter." Asterisk, "You couldn't even afford a studio apartment without my dad's handouts." Asterisk, "No real woman wants a man who folds laundry." She weaponized everything I ever did for the kids. My time. My love. My sacrifices. She called it weakness. Said I was too soft to be a real man. But here's where it starts to get really twisted. I started noticing weird charges on our joint account. Uber rides to hotels in the middle of the day. Wine deliveries to an address downtown. One time, $400 spent at a costume store. Yes, costumes, apparently for some event she was invited to by the club guys. I started keeping a file. Screenshots, receipts, messages she forgot to delete, even a half-written email to one of the dancers she had nicknamed Mr. Mayhem. Don't ask, I wish I hadn't read it. She once accidentally synced her iCloud messages to the family iPad. That was a fun discovery. Meanwhile, I was putting together the case with my lawyer. Quietly. But here's the kicker. One night, I got home late from a job interview trying to get out of the financial grip she's had me under, and I walked into the house empty. No Mona. No kids. I panicked. Called her. No answer. Called the kids' schools, no one had picked them up. I was freaking out. I started calling friends, neighbors, even her sister, who hates me but was equally shocked. Turns out Mona had taken the kids to her parents' lake house without telling me. No note, no text. Just gone. When I finally got hold of her 3 hours later, she told me, "Oh, calm down. I'm the mother. I can do whatever I want with my kids." Her kids. As if I was just a babysitter like she'd said before. That was it for me. That night I signed the retainer. Divorce was officially in motion. But just when I thought things couldn't get any more chaotic, she found the folder. The file I'd been building. All the evidence. And that's where part 3 begins. Because when a narcissist realizes she might actually lose, she doesn't go quietly. She goes nuclear. Updates coming soon. Still standing. Barely. Back again. If you haven't read parts 1 and 2, here's the gist. My rich, narcissistic wife Mona cheated on me with 13 men from a strip club while I raised our 3 kids practically alone. I finally decided to divorce her after years of being belittled and emotionally destroyed. She didn't see it coming. Until she did. So here's what happened after Mona discovered the folder. I had it hidden on my personal Google Drive. Password protected, low-key name, only accessible through my private email. But Mona, being the controlling psycho she is, somehow found it. She later admitted to using my son's Chromebook to auto-log into my account because you should have logged out, dumbass. She didn't confront me directly. No. She staged a full-blown meltdown. I came home one evening to find the living room torn apart, couch cushions on the floor, TV screen cracked, a vase shattered like it owed her money. Mona was pacing in her robe, barefoot, mascara smeared, waving around a bottle of rose like a sword. "You want to destroy me? Huh? You think you're going to take my kids and my money and run off into the sunset like some hero?" She actually threw her phone at me. It missed by a solid foot, but the gesture was enough. The kids were upstairs, I could hear them crying. I told her we'd talk when she calmed down. Her response? She locked herself in the bathroom and called her father. That's when things turned tactical. Her dad, let's call him Charles, is an old money tyrant who's always hated me. Thinks cigar smoke, golf trophies, and the kind of man who thinks being a stay-at-home dad is a feminine disorder. Charles lawyered up before I even filed. The next day, I got a letter from their family attorney threatening to fight for full custody and financial compensation for emotional distress. Emotional distress. From the woman who turned our home into a revolving door for male entertainers. At this point, I still hadn't told the kids. I didn't want to poison their view of their mother no matter how much she deserved it. But she beat me to that too. She sat them down and told them Daddy was trying to kick us out of our own home. That I wanted to take them away and never let Mommy see them again. She lied. Boldly. Convincingly. Like she'd rehearsed it. My youngest cried for hours. My oldest wouldn't even talk to me. And then she dropped the ultimate bomb. She accused me of cheating. She messaged our mutual friends, my sister, even my boss, telling them I'd been having an emotional affair with a coworker. She said I was grooming her for an escape plan. She even photoshopped texts to make it look real. I know because I tracked down the girl she was accusing me of seeing. She was a married HR rep I'd only spoken to once in a work meeting. It would have been laughable if it wasn't so disturbing. But here's where karma starts warming up. I got a message from someone I didn't recognize. A guy named Marcus. One of the strippers. He said, "Bro, I didn't know she was married until she started showing up with her kids in the car." Yeah. She was bringing our kids on her little strip club meetups and leaving them in the parking lot with an iPad while she went inside. Marcus said he couldn't be part of it anymore. He has a niece their age. I've saved the messages. Screenshotted everything. He agreed to talk to my lawyer. He's not the only one. This isn't just about infidelity anymore. It's about safety. It's about my kids. And I'm ready to go scorched earth. Next post, part 4, I file the papers, she gets served, and all hell breaks loose. Dad on a mission. Back again. If you're new here, long story short, my wife Mona, 36F, rich and entitled, cheated on me, 34M, with a strip club's worth of guys, literally 13 strippers. I raised our 3 kids alone while she belittled me for being poor and spineless. Now I've filed for divorce and things have officially gone nuclear. This part picks up right after she found my evidence folder and tried to blow up my life with lies and manipulation. Spoiler, it's not working. I filed. With every receipt, message, and stripper testimonial I could find. My lawyer, God bless her, said it was one of the most disturbingly thorough divorce packets she'd ever seen. She advised we request temporary full custody immediately given Mona's unstable behavior and the part where she left our kids in the car to go hook up with dancers. So we served her. At her dad's golf club. On brunch day. Slightly smiling face. Her dad apparently had to excuse himself from his mimosa to watch his precious daughter shriek at the process server in front of a dozen rich couples. The next day, she retaliated by calling Child Protective Services on me. She said I was emotionally abusive, that I neglected the kids, and that I verbally attacked her in front of them. They sent someone to the house. I was ready. I welcomed them in, introduced the kids, who were clean, fed, and watching Bluey, showed them their rooms, food stocked, homework done. I even had a binder of school emails, doctor visits, and photos of me at parent-teacher meetings, all the things she never showed up for. CPS cleared me in less than 48 hours. But Mona wasn't done. Court hearing number 1, temporary custody and restraining order hearing. She showed up in a neck brace. Yes, a neck brace. Claimed she was shoved into a door during an argument with me. Judge, do you have a police report or medical documents? Mona, no, I didn't think I needed one. Trauma doesn't always leave a paper trail. My lawyer, without blinking, slid timestamped home security footage across the table showing Mona slipping on our marble entryway 3 days before the hearing. Alone. In fuzzy socks. And then laughing about it on the phone with someone named Chad. Judge wasn't impressed. She then pulled out a printed text thread proving I threatened her. It was clearly fake. Wrong phone number format, and she'd misspelled her own name in one of the fake responses. At this point, even her own attorney looked embarrassed. Then came the bombshell. My lawyer brought in Marcus, the ex-stripper who Mona used to hook up with. He testified. Calm, respectful, clean-cut guy. Said he had no idea she was married. Said she brought the kids to the parking lot more than once. Said he felt gross and ended things once he realized the truth. Mona started sobbing in court, screaming at him, "You said you loved me." Judge had to call a recess. Her attorney quietly requested a break to regroup. We overheard her yelling at her team in the hallway, accusing them of sabotaging her redemption arc. I don't even know what that means. Outcome? Temporary full custody awarded to me. She gets supervised visits once a week, pending full custody review. Restraining order denied. Court ordered her to complete a psychological evaluation. I wish I could say I celebrated. I didn't. I went home and cried, not out of sadness, but exhaustion. My kids finally got to sleep through the night without chaos. But we're not done yet. In part 5, Mona does what she does best, escalate. She finds out I'm talking to someone, not even dating, just talking, and she goes full Fatal Attraction. It gets scary. One tired dad fighting for peace. Back again. Parts 1 through 4 tell the story of how my narcissistic, cheating wife Mona burned our marriage to the ground while I raised our 3 kids and quietly gathered evidence for divorce. Last we left off, she lost temporary custody in court after trying to stage a fake neck injury and got exposed by one of the actual strippers she cheated with. Now we're entering a new chapter, Mona the obsessed ex. Let me start with this, I wasn't dating anyone. I wasn't even thinking about romance. I'd been emotionally waterboarded for the past few years and I was just trying to keep the kids okay and my head above water. That said, I did reconnect with someone. Her name's Lila, someone I knew from college. We started chatting again after she commented on a Facebook post about parenting resources. She's a single mom. Smart, calm, no drama. We were literally just swapping kid advice and memes. I never told Mona about her. Didn't have to. Because Mona somehow found Lila's Instagram and decided this woman was my new girlfriend. How do I know this? Lila called me panicked. Said someone made a fake profile pretending to be her and started messaging her friends and coworkers, calling her a homewrecker, a groomer, and even accusing her of kidnapping my children. One of the messages included an actual photo of my kids at school drop-off taken from a distance. Yup. Mona was stalking us. I reported the incident. So did Lila. Police took statements but said unless she directly threatened someone, it was a gray area. But Mona didn't stop there. One night around 1 a.m., I saw lights flash in my driveway. I checked the camera. It was Mona in her car, parked across the street. Just sitting there. Not getting out. Not driving away. Just sitting. Watching. I turned on the porch lights. She peeled out like she was in Fast and Furious, narcissist drift. I told my lawyer. We documented it. Got it added to the custody file. We even requested a no-contact modification. But Mona being Mona didn't wait for a ruling. She broke into the backyard. Not kidding. A week later, I came home from work and noticed the garden gate was open. I go out back and see a cigarette but on the patio Mona's brand, which I only know because she used to lecture me about how they were the classy kind. Guess what else? One of the patio chairs had been moved, facing the window, right where the kids do their homework. Now I had trespassing. I filed a report. Finally, the police started to take it seriously. She was issued a warning and told to stay off my property or face arrest. She cried to her dad, of course. Said I was ripping her babies away from her. Claimed I planted the cigarette. Charles tried to call me directly, I let it go to voicemail, and I swear I've never heard a more condescending rant in my life. He said I was a kept man who'd never survive without their family's money. I laughed, then blocked him. But here's the turning point. The kids. They started asking questions. Why does mom keep saying you're stealing us? Why does mom call Lila a witch? Why does she drive by our school? So, I told them the truth. Age-appropriate but honest. That mom made some bad choices. That she's still their mom, but right now I have to protect them. That I'm not taking them away from anyone, I'm giving them the calm and love they deserve. They got it. Even my youngest. And that's when I realized, no matter how chaotic Mona gets, I'm not in survival mode anymore. I'm in rebuilding mode. Part 6 coming next. The custody war gets brutal, Mona makes a desperate legal move, and someone unexpected comes to my defense, someone from her past. It's not over yet. Tired, but gaining ground. If you're still with me after parts 1 to 5, you know what a ride this has been. My wife Mona cheated with 13 strippers, emotionally torched our marriage, lied in court, lost temporary custody, and went into full stalker mode when she found out I was talking to another woman. She's now trespassing, fake crying, and using our kids as pawns. This part. She makes a desperate legal move and someone from her own past takes the stand against her. It started with Mona trying to flip the custody ruling by demanding a psych evaluation on me. Said I was emotionally manipulative, covertly abusive, and even tried to play the he's unhinged and unstable card. My lawyer wasn't even mad, she just smirked and said, cool. We'll both do one. And we did. I went through the full evaluation, multiple sessions. Honest, raw, vulnerable. I laid everything out, the marriage, the cheating, the parenting, everything. The therapist literally said I presented as resilient, grounded, and high-functioning under prolonged emotional abuse. Mona, let's just say her results weren't glowing. Her report, which we got access to, described her as exhibiting narcissistic tendencies. Prone to grandiose delusions and emotional dysregulation. Struggles to differentiate between personal grievances and the well-being of the children. Oof. But the real twist came from her own ex-fiancé. Let's call him Ryan. I'd never met him. She always said he was obsessed with her and mentally unstable. But guess who reached out to my lawyer after seeing Mona's antics all over Facebook and mutual circles? Yup. Ryan. He asked if he could submit a statement, then asked if we wanted him to testify in person. Why? Because Mona did the same thing to him, just without kids involved. Cheating, gaslighting, lies, even a fake pregnancy scare to keep him from breaking up with her. He had emails, voicemails, screenshots from old convos where she bragged about how easy it was to manipulate men when they have savior syndrome. Ryan got on the stand and calmly laid it out. He even said, I'm not here because I hate her. I'm here because those kids deserve safety. And this man clearly loves them more than she ever loved me or anyone. Mona lost it. Screamed, you're a freaking stalker. Tried to stand up, bailiff had to tell her to sit down. The judge ordered a second supervised visit review. The court started to seriously consider revoking her access altogether. Not just supervised, suspended. And get this, the very next day Mona posted on her Healing Mom Journey Instagram account, yes, she is one, claiming she's a victim of court bias against women and that she's being punished for not being a perfect wife. She ended the post with, even Jesus was betrayed. So I guess I'm in good company. I don't even have words for that level of delusion. Meanwhile, the kids are doing better. They sleep. They laugh. My middle one started drawing again. Lila, the woman I was accused of being with, started volunteering at the kids' school and bringing over snacks. She's been nothing but kind. And no, we're still not officially dating. But I'm thinking about it. Because unlike Mona, she sees my kids as human beings, not leverage. This is it. The end of the 7-part journey. If you followed from the beginning, thank you. Your comments, messages, and DMs literally helped me keep my head straight. If you're just joining, my now ex-wife Mona cheated on me with 13 strippers, emotionally abused me for years, tried to weaponize our kids, got exposed in court, stalked me, lost custody, and had a full public unraveling. I held the line. For my kids. For my sanity. This final part. The judge drops the final hammer. And Mona, well, she doesn't go quietly. The final custody hearing took place 2 weeks ago. It wasn't just about custody, it was about everything: division of assets, permanent custody, alimony, visitation, child support. Everything we'd been fighting over for nearly a year. We came in with a mountain of documentation, texts, emails, footage, character witnesses, psychological evals, even school counselor notes showing how the kids thrived when Mona wasn't involved. Mona showed up late. In a white power suit, with rhinestones, and matching sunglasses inside. She tried to object before anyone even spoke, claimed the judge was biased. Said her lawyer wasn't defending her enough. Said my lawyer and I were sleeping together. Her attorney looked like he wanted to melt into his chair. The judge, cool and firm, walked through everything. Asterisk custody, full legal and physical custody to me. Mona gets supervised visitation once a month, pending psychological clearance, and the supervisor must be court-appointed. Asterisk child support, Mona, despite her claims of being financially drained, was ordered to pay a modest but consistent monthly amount. Why? Because she lied about being broke, and we proved she recently bought herself a $7,000 handbag and a luxury spa trip in Bali. Asterisk alimony, denied. Judge cited her marital misconduct and financial recklessness. Asterisk asset division, 60-40 in my favor due to documented fraud and mismanagement on her part. The trust fund her father tried to shield? Not touchable, but Mona has to liquidate her personal accounts to satisfy part of the settlement. Mona went full meltdown. Screamed in court. Said I used the kids to win. Said she was being crucified for being an empowered woman. Judge warned her once. Then again. And then security was called again. As she was being escorted out, she shouted, "You'll never be enough. I made you. You were nothing without me." I didn't say anything. I just picked up my daughter's crayon drawing from the table next to me. She drew our family with the words, "Dad is the safe one." Outside the courtroom, something happened I wasn't ready for. My oldest, 11 years old, turned to me and said, "Can we change our last name?" I asked why. He said, "Because we're not hers anymore. We're yours." I cried. Right there on the courthouse steps. We haven't filed the name change yet. But we will. Final update. Asterisk the kids are doing great. I've got them back in therapy, we go hiking every Saturday, and I finally got promoted at work. Asterisk Lila and I? We're still taking it slow, but yes. We're dating. And she makes my kids laugh more than I've ever seen. Asterisk Mona's Instagram is now full of spiritual quotes and vague healing captions. Last week she posted, "Some people lose diamonds while chasing glitter." Irony? Wild. Asterisk her dad? Sent me a check out of nowhere. No note. Just a 5-figure apology, I guess. I didn't cash it. I framed it. Asterisk me? I'm sleeping again. I'm living again. To every tired, underestimated, gaslit parent out there, you are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not alone. Stay grounded. Stay kind. And when you're ready, stand the hell up. Thanks for walking through hell with me. One free dad, finally at peace. Let me know if you want to follow up post down the road. Or an AMA. Or just closure. You all kept me going when I didn't think I could. Red Heart.